Okay, we're on our way. Got a long way, 7 hours, 8 hours nearly if I do it all in one go. Let's see how we get on. Just trying to get myself out of this city now. If I can follow this. Keep on the right. Watch out for everybody trying to kill you. And then should be fine. Looks like it goes around here. So I'm by myself today. My friend Simon obviously had to call it a day. He just couldn't get on with the bike, and he's got a sort of movement difficulties, let's put it that way, and falling off 3 times yesterday just compounded his issues. So he's called it a day. And what he's going to do, I've just found out this morning, he's now, the tow truck picked him up, took him and the bike back to Santiago. He's now going to jump on a plane down to Port of Monte, that's it, Port of Monte, and he's going to rent a car and then drive up to, I think it's Fruitila, and he's going to meet me there in about 2 days time, 2 or 3 days time, and then we'll get a night or so there before catching the ferry. So lots of miles for me to do by myself, and he's going to jump on a plane, as I say, and I'll meet him eventually in about 2 or possibly 3 days. Let's see how we get on today. It's going to be a hot one today. I've got it here, and this where we are now. I can't remember where I am now, but it's going to be 33 degrees. So I'm heading south, so that I'm hoping it's going to get a lot cooler quite quickly. I think I was reading it's going to be down to something like 28, depending on how far I get today. And then of course as we get into the wilder parts, it gets down to about 18. And just checking the forecast in the UK today, it is minus, in Scotland I think it's going to be minus 13 or something, so it's crazy when you think about it, isn't it? It's plus 33 here and minus 13 or 14 there, big differences. So but it's all good, I'm on the bike, everything's packed. Obviously it's going to be strange with my mate in a car, but I guess it'll make carrying gear a lot easier. I'll just chuck everything in the car, make the bike lighter, and we'll get down to the Tierra del Fuego, Ushuaia, together eventually. If I haven't mentioned it before, this is a trip we were going to do in 1982, but the Falklands War broke out, and us 2 young lads thought, right, we better not head down that way right now. So we said we'd do it another year, and then of course I met my wife in 83, and we had kids, mortgages to pay, blah blah blah. And then the next minute, you know, we're like 60, I'm 66 in June, he's 70 now, and we said, if we're going to do it now, we're never going to do it. So that's why we planned this trip. So my advice to everyone, as always, is to do as much as you can while you're young and fit. And obviously I've travelled a lot. I've done Europe, I don't know, since I was 17, endlessly, all around Europe and Spain, Picas Europa, Germany, blah blah blah. And I've done most of the world, but I've never done this sort of a trip. An extended long trip. This is 30 days. I did some days, a week in Cambodia, but 30 days in, you know, riding through South America. I haven't done it. And it is harder when you're older, there's no question about it. You know, everywhere we go, people are telling us to be very careful. It's very dangerous. Don't trust anyone. You know, there's lots of bandidos, effectively. So don't stop, etc. I mean, they said that to me in Mexico, and I never had an issue. But you need to be on your guard, obviously. So when I rode across Mexico, I didn't have any problems. I stuck to the rules of always sort of being indoors before night time, never travelling on the roads at night time, that's for sure. And the only one I say close, it was the usual. I was in the middle of nowhere and suddenly two guys waved me down. I could see them standing sort of in the road, in this gravel road in the distance, and they waved me down as if to stop me. And they told me, whatever you do, don't stop for people, because obviously they could pull a gun or a knife on you or whatever. So as I sort of slowed down to make them think I was stopping, and then raced on past them. But, you know, that was as close as it ever got out there. And equally, here so far, people have been as great and as friendly and as nice as you'd want. My friend who dropped his bike 3 times, hey, every single time people gathered around him, lifted him up, lifted the bike up, made sure he was okay, told me where hospital was if I needed it, which he didn't. He just hurt his leg more than anything. Although funny enough, at the very last fall at the petrol station, he fell backwards, and I did hear this sort of crack, and I thought, what the hell was that? Because I was just going forward. So when I got off the bike, I turned around, he's lying flat on the back, and interestingly enough, it cracked the helmet, chipped the helmet. So we were just saying to each other that if he's going to continue riding, excuse me, when he gets back to Australia, he ought to invest in a new helmet, because although you could see the chip, you can't see what lies beneath it. What lies beneath sounds like a movie. And so we were saying, you know, yeah, chuck it away, get yourself a new one. It is an old helmet anyway. So he said, yeah, if he's going to continue riding when he gets back to Australia, then he's going to get a new helmet, which I think makes a lot of sense. But honestly, we were talking about it yesterday before we left to Australia, to Santiago, to get the flight and the taxi and the car organised. He said he might call it a day. You know, guys, we all get older. It's much harder when you get older. I know people that ride into sort of 90s. My dad rode until he was 76. But when you say ride, it was all local stuff. You know, my dad retired to Wales and he just rode in the local area. He didn't do any long overland sort of travels. And I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying it's harder. It's definitely harder. You do have to think about it a lot more. So, yeah, do as much as you can while you're as young as you can and fit as you can. So that's my recommendation. Anyway, I'll probably shut up for a while and just carry on. I've not got much of an exciting journey today. As far as I can work out, I'm heading towards the motorway to do a very long motorway trip, to get the miles under my belt, to get down to what is called the Lake District in Chile, and Pucón, the reservoir I want to get to. It's supposed to be stunningly beautiful, so I want to try and get the miles out the way to get down there. From there, it's a couple of days rest, and then on to meet my friend Simon at Frutilar, and then we catch the boat, Puerto Monte, and then we're really, I don't know, uncharted territories really. Depending on the reports you read, it's like 70%, 60 or 70% of the roads are just gravel, and we ride down a scenic gravel route for, I don't know, something like 700 or 800 miles before heading into Argentina and crossing that for a while. So, but more on that later. I just thought I'd give you an update today, and yeah, I'll just ride for a bit and then turn the camera off. Alright, thanks for watching everyone.